I really wanted to acknowledge the managers for getting together all of that information, and because that's a huge feat. For the offices that could really rely on their monitor because they were so great at making sure that they reconciled, I'd like to really acknowledge, I have a couple that, man, these offices rocked it with using their monitor, and there's a lot of information that's going to be able to be gleaned from that because you have your laptops available to you. And so I'd like to acknowledge Lisa from Dr. Miller's office and Cheryl from Dr. Ferguson's office. And then there's one other office I'm looking at her. I'm like, no, your monitor is perfect too. Chris from Dr. Pappas's office. This one has remarkable numbers as well. And so they actually have 3 full years of data that they can now go back to, and they can count on the information. For any of you that had an opportunity to hear Dale, he actually said, you practice for perfection. And he just always was about constant, never-ending improvement. And he didn't like some of the things that he got told sometimes, but he just kept at it. And it had the result of giving him the life that he desired. The doctors have requested a little bit more interaction than I had originally planned for, and that's great. We're going to go ahead and make that happen. So somebody shout out something that they want to get out of today. What can we change? How to maintain your goals? Tools, resources. What can I do? I love that. Better communication. Gain from others. Awesome. So I want you to get that sometimes you just have to learn to ask for certain things inside of your teams in order to get the results that you desire. So sometimes just get out of your seat, get out of your comfort zone, and this is what this is all about. And I want you to consider that when you are comfortable doing that, that you all win. Because if the doctors asked for something this morning, it was about, I want to interact with more of them because they're all doing great things.
I'm Jeff Steischel, general dentist in Scottsdale, Arizona. I've had the pleasure of working with BCS the last year and a half. It's been fabulous. I can't really imagine practicing without them. They make things so easy as far as helping out with numbers and evaluating those things that I'm maybe not particularly good at. Also staff issues, things that particularly come up. Sarah and the rest of the team are just fabulous about handling those issues and help giving me guidance as far as how to proceed with those. Also is figuring out production and increasing that and providing the patients with the best quality care. It's just been a great experience working with BCS over the last year and a half, and I'm thrilled to continue to work with them in the future.
We're going to look at how to actually change our minds about getting what we desire. And I want you to share amongst yourselves on your teams what makes each of you great. Like, what do you need to acknowledge in one another so that from that place with how you guys are great is what we're going to create next year out of. This is Team Miller that made their shirts. What would Sarah do? Come on up. We got to get a picture of this. This is just, you guys, are we all in there? So part of today is about you guys just looking at how are you using your time and getting the results that you want and moving it forward. Because if you get the results that you say, in a lot of cases, you're being what? Rewarded. And you guys building up around that you're providing great dentistry and a level of health to patients that didn't have it prior to you. This isn't about the number. If we coach from health, and that if the goal is to get patients healthy, the number follows, right? I mean, I got the best doctors, and I got the best hygienists, the best assistants, the best front office. This package that's sitting in this room is the best that the Valley has to offer. Would you agree? Yep. Now what we're going to look at is, what did your year look like in your practice? So somebody has a high average of $1,200 a day in their hygiene department. That's a good number for a hygiene department in an insurance-driven model. So about $187.50 per hour. Now we're talking ideal, okay? So this is a goal, is something that you stretch for. In a non-insured model, we typically start you at 15, jump to 18, and then jump into the 22s. What does your average look like for your department, and how do we want to get to your ideal? Let's just start looking at, what do we need to do in order to get to that number? Does it mean more perio, less open time? Does it mean patients actually showing up, confirming differently? What are those things that if our hygienists are doing $150 or $160 per hour, and we want to get them to say that $190, we have this many new patients, we have this as an active patient base. What great things led to your great numbers?
The main thing I would say that we do well in our practice is our new patients that come in, and then our new patient exam with digital photography has been really big for us. There's millions of dentists in our community, it seems like, so lots of competition in our area. So we're averaging 35 new patients a month, which I think is strong. Yes, there's one patient celebrated her 100th birthday, has been in our practice for almost 80 years.
Yeah, so that relationship out in your community is fantastic. And for such a large team, I'd just like to acknowledge that that is something that is very, very difficult for the large teams to hang on to.
My name is John Pappas. I have a dental practice in the Arcadia district of Phoenix, Arizona. I've been working with Sarah for approximately the last 5 or 6 years. She's helped our practice immensely, and I don't know what we do without her. She really helps us with the organizational aspects of our practice. She's really helped to build our office culture, and she just really made it a lot easier for us to do what we do in the best and most valuable way possible. So I highly recommend Sarah and BCS management. It's been fantastic for our practice.
Thank you. This is a great idea. I think one of the benefits of being with Sarah is that she's got a lot of different practices that she works with that we can utilize each other. We're kind of like Sarah's kids. We're her team. So it's great. I think if we could pool some of our knowledge that we could share with each other.
All right, who wants to go next?
And just being really thorough with your new patient exams. Like they said, they bumped it up to an hour and a half. That's what we do. And we get comments all the time from patients saying that that was the most thorough exam I've ever had. So that's really important.
I have to say that by and large, this practice, for the human element to their social media, this one, it really has the human element to social media. They're incorporating the team into the social media. There are lots of you that are doing great things on social media. They're incorporating more of their life in their social media, not just, here's a winner of a gift card. And if you don't have 3, just share your big one.
We've got 3. I just don't know if I can elaborate. We introduced Velscope into the office in May, and it has been outstanding. The patients are so appreciative of the tests, and they say, they didn't know anyone ever did this. They're very excited with it. So that's something that we feel has really helped our practice at least the second half of the year. Internal marketing, which helped us get external results. We did a big drawing at the end of the September. We did a big TV drawing. It was very, very beneficial. It made a lot of patient buzz in our office. Patients were telling friends.
Okay, so we're also doing the same thing Dr. Miller's office is doing. We do internal marketing we've given away a TV. We're on our second TV now. We did an iPad in between, which generated a lot of excitement, of course, with the kids. They walked in, they're like, Mom, I want to get that, I want to get that. So the mom's like, all right. She's on her phone, liking us, checking in.
Doctors, if you guys want any more of my great ideas, we can discuss it over golf.
It's got to be golf, right? I've decided I have to take up golf. If I ever want to have a meeting with a doctor, I have to know how to golf. So when we start looking at the up and coming and how you're going to build your practices in the marketing arena, which we may be doing all of this in your practice instead of this afternoon, we need to be looking at what are they going to require of you. And people want it now. They don't want to come back. They don't want it spread out. And they want their time maximized in a lot of cases. And so you're going to start finding that you have to start doing more and more for them inside of the one visit you got. So they're allowing more production in the schedule because they aren't taking up all the seat spots. You just have to be playing off that perfect day template to make sure that your doctor is maximizing his time. So we never want to have that time where he could be doing something else that he goes to his office and does waste book. Right? So we actually get him going so that we keep him focused and we just keep him moving from chair to chair.
My name's Christine Hugg. I work with Dr. Brian Williams, and what I've taken away from Sarah is sometimes it's scary having people come into your office that you don't know, that don't work there, but as soon as you learn that these ladies at BCS have your back and want what's best for you, and they have your back, and it's a nice thing, and it's great, and it's been great for our practice.
Okay, so we now know what we did in 2015. We now know what great things that our colleagues are doing, and we now know what we want to do in 2016. Okay, so now we just need to go, okay, what do we need to do in order to close the gap? Okay. So you just start putting in your ability to be successful. The marketing part will make sure that we walk your team through that inside of your own practice. It will be totally fine. I'm okay with that. We do need to put together the pieces of what you've gone through. So we've talked about 2015. We've talked about where 2016 is going. Now, the part where you disconnected on developing the agreement on what you want to crush, that's the part that happens in your team meetings that as I was walking around, I'm like, hold on, wait. Now we're getting locked up in the story around that. So as a team, we want to start looking at not getting locked up in the story around whatever the thing was that you were dealing with. So helping one another going, what's the solution? What's the solution? And what's the time that we're going to use to work around that? And I want you to look at that there's something called the Parkinson's Law. And this is for the amount of time that you're given, you will take that amount of time, and in some cases more, in order to get the thing done. So if we really want to move things forward, you want to start pressing deadlines. I want the teams, I want you to really start looking at, really start honing in on, if that is like, hey, we're giving us 2 weeks, and that's a really, really, long deadline. I want to go, can you guys get it done a little faster than that? Let's start expediting some of the results by holding one another accountable to a tighter timeline. Mathematically, this is all set up from the beginning. Marketing is the same way, and driving your patients to yes is exactly what I just did. So this is about deciding where you want to drive them, and then you learn the specific steps to get them to arrive where you want them to go. It's all in agreement. It's a system. And that's what I really want you guys focusing on and taking away from today, that it lives in that world called get accountable to your systems and have fun around it. And it's the fun that will actually have you make big, big impacts in people's lives, because I'm all about their health getting better and the doctors winning, but I'm really more about the patients getting healthy is what I'm all about. So I just personally wanted to thank them. Lynn went and she didn't know what I was doing with these flowers. She went and she gets me a vase for her own flowers. Isn't that cool? So it is not easy to put this stuff together, and Lynn was responsible for all of these lovely little packages and your trail mix and getting all of the stuff and it looking really pretty, and Sharon helping with all of the numbers and getting all of the rooms set up and helping facilitate your tables. And so I just really wanted to say thank you to them, and this is just a small token, and don't get wet, okay? Because they're in water now, so thank you so much for all of the work that you did. All right, guys, well, it was my pleasure, and I know we got a little off course today, and I hope that it was for a really great cause and that you got a lot out of it, and that we're going to be able to go ahead and crush 2016. I'm really excited for you guys, and thank you so much for all of your attention today, and I look forward to having a drink with you out there.